Welcome to Manufacturers Focus on Sustainable ICT and Social Responsibility, Part 3 in our podcast series exploring the global manufacturing industry environment and digital transformation. I'm Craig Baty, Principal of DataDriven, an Australian-based global research and advisory firm focusing on the ICT industry in general and digital transformation trends specifically. With me today is Johan Carstens, CTO for Manufacturing and Automotive at Fujitsu, being interviewed from London. Welcome to the series, Johan.
Thank you, Craig.
The last year has been turbulent, to say the least, impacting all aspects of society and all industries. COVID-19 hasn't gone away, but continues to mutate and is now something that we all live with as part of the new normal. The manufacturing sector hasn't been immune to this impact, and although already quite advanced in the area of digital transformation, has increased initiatives in response to the pandemic. However, the way forward is still difficult, and directions to take are often not clear. To help illuminate the current state of the industry and provide some insights into a way forward, Fujitsu has partnered with DataDriven in our first global survey of ICT decision makers in manufacturing. Earlier this year, we researched over 200 manufacturing industry ICT decision makers in 17 countries in their own business language on their thoughts, attitudes, and intentions for the use of technology in the manufacturing industry. So let's take a quick look at some of the key findings. Respondents have positive views about the impact of sustainability goals on their business and related investments in ICT. They rate diversity and inclusion considerations and environmental and sustainability regulations as having a very strongly positive impact on their ICT spending, ranking these as the third and fourth most important factors that positively impact their ICT budgets. So Johan, looking at the results we just discussed, and if we focus in on number 1 and 2, technology changes and R&D investments, how do you see this, if at all, improving sustainability for your global manufacturing customers? And does it change the perception or decision-making process for end customers when they decide on the products they consume?
So what we see, Craig, is when we talk about technology changes, we see manufacturers needs to eliminate manual processes and start digitizing it. Now, the reason why they do this is if I have to make a change in my factory, it takes quite a bit of human effort and manual time to make the changes and then optimize it and fine tune it. What we see in the digital way is we can actually virtualize that whole process. We can apply the changes virtually within minutes or an hour or so, and then apply that change to the factory. Why that's important is the consumers these days have high demands for manufacturers. They like new products, they like innovation, and they are very demanding. So you can't just have one process and run this process like in a traditional way for the next 10 years. So you have to be agile. In order to be agile, you have to be able to change very quickly and deliver to the consumers. Why is this important to the consumers as well? A consumer these days, we will only buy products that they feel comfortable with. If it's sustainable, if it's a renewable product, if it's from, depends on where it comes from. If they feel comfortable with the product, they will buy. That's important to the manufacturer because that makes them successful. The more success the manufacturer have in the products they sell, the more revenues they get. And that leads on to one of the examples I want to give you. We see one of our companies I work with is a big tire manufacturer in Europe. They are actually experimenting on using dandelion juice to make rubber. Now, if you think about that, it's very sustainable. And if we can start using dandelion juice to make rubber and tires, that company is going to be far better at getting consumers to buy their products than the company who's using traditional methods. And they can only achieve this by digitizing and getting visibility and understanding what your consumers want. So it's all about bringing a consumer closer to the business and being agile.
When asked about the actual outcomes of digital transformation in manufacturing, not only are manufacturers targeting reduced waste to improve quality as an outcome, but they're actually achieving it. Reduced waste and improved quality was the most successful outcome from all DX initiatives. 1/2 of respondents report outcomes above or significantly above expectations, and another 30% reported satisfactory outcomes. In addition, the outcomes for a purpose-driven, sustainable business approach were also strong, with more than 80% of respondents reporting satisfactory outcomes or above. So Johan, based on this chart, we noticed that reduced waste or improved quality was the most successful outcome from all DX initiatives. So why do you think this was the case? And what do you see as the key aspects highlighted by this chart?
What we see is from this chart is visibility. We need visibility into our factories, into our processes. We need to see what our consumers are demanding from us, and then we can measure it. As soon as we can measure it, we can compare it and we can improve it, and we can improve the quality. And then we can reduce waste. Now, one example I want to give you is one of the customers we work with. They use a lot of heat in the manufacturing process. They've got a lot of they heat the water up. They use the steam. But when the steam and the water is done, they actually just clean it and put it back into the river. Now, what they've done is they started using a circular economy. They're actually using this water after processing it through the plant. They use the warm water to heat greenhouses, and now they're growing tomatoes. So they're reusing that energy and then cleaning it up and putting it back into the river. Now, that's important for our customers because it's bringing that customer closer to my business, making myself a closed circular economy where I waste nothing. And we see a lot of our customers now looking at companies like this and say, I want to be part of this journey, and actually supporting them. We then see the revenues increasing as well. We see the technology that these companies are using is increasing as well, because now they've done a bit of technology, they see it works, they get the results, and they move to the next one and the next one and the next one. And it's very successful for all our customers in the manufacturing space, and it builds a lot of trust of customers.
Many manufacturing organisations are also demonstrating social responsibility through their employee experience initiatives. Most manufacturing organisations are deploying workplace innovation initiatives as part of their efforts to improve EX. Workplace innovation covers a wide spectrum of technologies and initiatives, but it is mostly about supporting and improving productivity and teamwork with collaboration, automation and messaging apps, for example, Microsoft 365, Teams, Google Workspace and so on, and supplying the personal devices to access those apps and networks securely, both inside and outside the organisation. More than 80% of manufacturing industry organisations report mature workplace innovation implementations or projects that are well underway or in pilot stages. And over 80% will make further investments in these technologies in the next 12 months. COVID-19 has accelerated these initiatives. So now we've looked at this chart, Johan, what do you see as the key aspects highlighted?
So from my experience and looking at the smartphones, desktop and laptops that was highlighted in this chart, we understand that yes, most knowledge workers in manufacturing already run very mature workplace environments. However, on the shop floor, it is still very early days. We see applications like WhatsApp is the most commonly used application on the shop floor. And yes, I do agree 80% of manufacturers or manufacturing customers will make future investments or further investments in workplace technologies, but they need to bring the shop floor worker on the journey with them. We see if we use technologies like images or videos or so on smartphones for shop floor workers, we can train them up a lot quicker. There's no language barriers with images. So it just accelerates the whole process. We also see if we bring the shop floor worker on the journey with us, they can help us redesign the factory, optimize the factory. So if we have a digital factory environment in a digital twin or so, we can actually include these guys in the process and say, how can you help me, or how can we optimize our process to be more sustainable? And they can actively help us make changes to the factory, and it all works in a circular economy again, being more sustainable and reusing some of the products that currently goes to waste.
Now that we've reviewed the sustainability focused findings from this survey, how do you think 2022 will play out for manufacturing?
So Craig, what we see is companies and manufacturers will accelerate investment in DX, and the key is to drive sustainability and reduce operational cost. What we also see is new innovative startups is going to come to the market, and they are really going to challenge the traditional manufacturer in 2022. If you're not ready to change, if you're not going to invest in DX, if you're not going to bring the consumer on a journey with you, you are going to lose out, because we see there's a lot of strong, new, innovative companies with lots of good ideas, and they are completely digital. So they already mitigate any of the traditional processes, and that puts them on the forefront.
Thanks for your time and insights, Johan.
Thank you, Craig. And I'm really looking forward to how sustainability is going to play a big part in the future.
For a more detailed discussion of the survey results, please download the report from the Fujitsu manufacturing site shown here.